everyone, I'm taking a bike ride. Actually, I'm returning from a nice fresh cup of morning coffee. It's like, a little past 11, maybe 11:30. And I don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. I don't need it because I deep breathe. I deep breathe and oxygenate my brain. I've been doing that for a long time now. I guess since I learned it from Tony Robbins back in 1989. So I've been doing a lot of deep breathing. And it pays off. And doing a few reps of that in the morning, well, several, like 6 or more, oxygenates your brain and lifts you up. Like, I was surprised when I first started doing it. Like, boom, I got this like charge and clarity, and my eyes open wide, and I'm like, wow, so much better than coffee could ever be. So I don't drink coffee hardly at all first thing in the morning anymore, where I used to. So I do oxygen and fresh clean water in the morning. Then coffee becomes a pleasure. Like, I think I'll enjoy a cup of coffee, not have one so I wake up. I do drink tea for the flavor in the morning. British organic tea in the morning. So I'm out here enjoying my bike. I'm catching sun, and I just take through this tight squeeze. I like to practice my balance as I'm riding, like hands-free, as I go through tight spots, wide spots. It keeps me on my toes, and that is like one of the benefits of keeping going, keeping charged up, keep on living into your life. So there are many flowers here. Those close at night, and these are open all the time, but in the winter they come out, like, it seems like they come out twice a year. They're Lilawadi. I mean, they're always there, but they come out hot and heavy, like in the winter months, and then hot and heavy probably around June, when all the leaves, and May, when all these leaves are so lush. This is like winter time, and if you lived here, you would know it's not really fully tropically charged. So, we have seasons here in Thailand. They're just not as extreme. Like when I used to live in Key West, this woman in Massachusetts told me, oh my God, it's like 87 degrees in Manchester by the Sea. I think it was like 1985. She goes, Peter, it's so hot. How can you stand Florida? I'm like, well, I don't really need to smash my finger to know that when the pain goes away, how good it feels, which is my equivalent to being in New England in the wintertime. That's just me personally. Some people love the snow, and you love it, do it. But for me, I am just noting some differences in seasons. They don't have to be extreme to enjoy them. So I drive back through my little village here. This is the other side of it. My home's on the other side, but there's a lot of kilometers through here. So I zigzag through and see the smiles. Today's a work day. It's Monday. Most people are at work, but there are some housekeepers out putting their laundry and drying it in the fresh air. So this is the smaller homes on this side of the gated community. But right up there is a swimming pool. So I take advantage of that. When I swim, when I ride my bike, and usually I put 5-pound weights every other day. And I don't go crazy, but I stay fit. And then I go swimming afterwards. But I will catch 20 minutes of like nap time, sun time, quiet time. Go swimming. After swimming, then I do some meditation. So adding richness, depth, balance, and I do some grounding work on this grass and those rocks in there. I open up chakras and clear energy and do some chi work and a lot of other cool stuff that I don't have to get total in-depth knowledge of everything that I do, like I got to study it to a science. That is good to know all the small things, but I want the benefit. I want the basic benefits. And when something's working really well, naturally, I don't have to read a book. Naturally, your body takes over and starts guiding you, telling you what to do. Do this, that feels right, do that. When I first started to learn Tai Chi, I watched a video. And then I bought a book. And I watched the people in Hong Kong. And I watched the people in Thailand, downtown at Lumpini Park, doing their Tai Chi. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting, but it seems like it's really structured. And I get, the structured part of the movements that allow the flow, the certain movements, but we all have a little different energy. So I found myself on the bow of a 700-foot cargo ship coming back from Great Britain, passing Bermuda and heading down into the Caribbean. And this was in August, and there were like thunder and lightning heads way out on the horizon. You could see the stars, and I would go out on the forecastle of the ship, which is up on the bow, and there's like a step up. It's like a rise with it's like you're putting a cup on the deck and putting a hole in it so you can get inside the cup. If the waves are coming, it won't fill the hole, right? So it's called forecastle. So they put a piece of wood on there when it's at sea. And it's like maybe 2 feet, 2.5, 3 feet wide. And I would get up on there 6 o'clock every night and watch the sun set and watch the stars, because there was no light pollution, come up over the horizon. So the stars met the horizon on the sea. It's hard to find that unless you're way out in the middle of the ocean. So I would get up on that forecastle and just start doing movement based on what I saw these people doing. And I started moving my body slowly and power punches. I mean, I learned some stuff from Robin. I incorporated everything I learned into my own personal moves, which I highly recommend for you as well, that you take and do that. Do what's right for you. So that was right for me. You study people, you study the best, you study what they're doing, how they're doing it, and then you go try it. And the worst thing, I think, is to try to follow someone else's exact, unless it's marketing or something like that. But if you're doing something that's personal to your energy, you need to, and I really mean it, you need to do what feels right for you. So, you do what feels right for you. Some guy's trying to go around the roundabout the wrong way. Anyway, then you do it, and you start to feel what feels good for you. Wow, that's good. And that's what I did for like 2.5 hours up on this forecastle. And then the dolphins would come up under the bow. I would stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't leave. I was like at one with, you could say. It was just the most magical of experiences. So, I'm not on my own sailboat. I'm not having to be concerned about the mast and the ropes and I don't have to run that sailboat. So I'm really living in the moment, like a passenger on a cruise ship, but it's my job and I'm making money. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that experience. That experience of being in the middle of the ocean, traveling through storms, through flat, calm oceans. through lightning at night, through the magic of life. No land anywhere in sight, and just you and that. Everywhere you look, it's blue. The blue sea, or the blue sky, or the gray sky and the gray sea. The mountains of sea. You need a change? Don't worry, you'll run into a storm someplace. And that gets your, at least it got my adrenaline system going. I would end up in some places in emergency conditions on a ship in a storm, like you see in the movies, just to give you a reference, with a challenge to keep the ship literally from sinking or filling with water. Maybe it's not going to sink, but something's going to fill with water and flood that you don't want to and damage stuff. Or a steam pipe explodes in the engine room and you better fix it. You don't call the plumber. You're like, find it, fix it, move, and make sure that nothing else gets messed up, because there's such a sequence and such a volume of steam and water moving when that piece of steel is going at 20, 25 miles an hour, 700 feet long, or 18 miles an hour. We call them knots, right? Nautical miles an hour on the sea. So, I mean, you can watch all the videos you want online. There's nothing like living it and being there and moving it. So, I say this to inspire you to live into your life. Whatever it is, go for it. You know, I get on my bike. Sometimes I'm sitting and I'm reading and writing, and I don't want to get on my bike. And I don't want to put the weights on my wrist. But you know what? My brain says, Peter, you know how good you always feel after you do this stuff? After a swim? After a swim under the stars and the moon? After a swim in the middle of the day? After a little meditation, you feel great. You feel charged up. You've totally changed your state because you made an effort, an uncomfortable effort to do so. By the way, if you're thinking about coming to Thailand and you want to do the Great Escape, I know where there's lots of good deals on houses. And nothing like having a house manager to make your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, fold your clothes, wash your clothes, go to the post office, do whatever you need to get done. And they are happy to do that. These people, that's what they do. They serve others. And you know, you've heard of the service industry, right? I mean, what's the big deal? Customer services. We want to serve people. Inherently, we like to help people. So these people get paid to help people. And I tell you, I get on the phone talking with people or online, and they're like, Peter, you know, isn't that an amazing life? And I go, yes, it is an amazing life that I've been living for over 30 years. And it's kind of like getting the best of both worlds. And I say, why not? Why not you?